What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing Game Week 28 in the Premier League. I know it's very late, I know Game Week 29 has gone. We're going to pretend it hasn't yet, and that video will be up tomorrow. I've got all my notes down anyway, I might as well make the video, do you know what I mean? First game was Manchester United against Everton, 2-0 Man United win. 2 penalties, both earned by Garnacho, who was a handful for the Everton defenders. They could not really deal with him. Fernandes and Rashford tucked the 2 penalties away. Fernandes had a couple chances that Pickford made some very good saves from, and Everton were probably overall slightly better. You know, they pressed very well, they created some good chances, but the same old issues for them. They can't take them, they don't know how to shoot. It's a real issue for them, and it's why they are in a relegation battle. It's not Man United haven't played particularly well, but they've got the 3 points. You know, they're still very much in with a chance of top 5. I think it's unlikely they'll get it, but you never know. Bournemouth against Sheffield United, I thought that Bournemouth were going to win 3-1. They drew 2-2. Solanke missed a penalty. It was one of the worst penalties I've ever seen in my life. He slipped, but how do you even do that, man? You're an embarrassment, Solanke. I captained you for this game week. And yes, you scored in the next game, but I was expecting such a big haul from him, man. However, Sheffield United bottled a 2-0 lead, and if you're trying to stay up, and you're at the bottom of the table and you're so far adrift, you can't be doing that. Crystal Palace against Luton, I predicted a 3-2 Palace win, ended up being a 1-1 draw, very eventful, huge late drama. The Palace took the lead through Mateta with a brilliant goal, really poor from Doughty, who just played the ball backwards into no one. Munoz got onto it and he did really well, played the ball into the box, Mateta just flicked it in. It was a brilliant goal. Mateta could have scored a hat-trick in this game. He had a few chances, a couple of them were very difficult that he did well with, but one of them he had a sitter and he just missed. The Palace had all the chances as they nearly scored from the halfway line. Edouard hit the crossbar late on. In the last minute of the game, Corley Woodrow popped up for Luton, brilliant header, great ball in from Townsend as well, the former Palace man. Woodrow's previous goal came almost a decade ago against Crystal Palace. Fortunately for Luton, they did pick up more injuries in this game. They have been heavily riddled with them recently. Wolverhampton against Fulham, I predicted a draw in this game. Wolves won 2-1, but that does not tell the story of the game at all. Wolves actually picked up some really big injuries in this game. Neto got injured, Bellegarde also got injured. They're really light up top now. Fulham were by far the better team though, and in the 25th minute, Wilson had a huge chance that he scuffed. Tosin hit the bar as well, but yeah, Fulham just couldn't take their chances until the 98th minute where Wobie scored, but it wasn't enough. And on another day, Fulham would have won this 4-0. Great result for Wolves that keeps them within touching distance of Europe. It's still very unlikely they'll get there, especially with the injuries they've got now, but you never know. I mean, with Newcastle and Chelsea being inconsistent, Man United not playing too well, West Ham looking a bit inconsistent as well, there's always the opportunity for them. Arsenal against Brentford. Now, I did predict a 6-1 Arsenal win. I will admit that was partly because, and it was mostly because of my severe hatred for Brentford, and almost me wishing that is what the score was going to be. Ended up being 2-1, which I could argue was better because of the way that Arsenal won. First of all, just want to talk about the man, Declan Rice, brought him into my FPL team, scored a brilliant header. He almost scored in the second half as well, a screamer from about 30 yards out. It curved back in, and he hit the bar. It was so close, man. It would have been such a good goal. I will give Brentford credit. They played well, especially considering the injuries they got. Like, they defended very deep, but for the most part, they made it work, and they didn't allow Arsenal to have too many chances, especially in the first half. Ramsdale, he made an absolute howler. We've all seen that. But he did make up for it in the second half with some really good saves. Kai Havertz scored the winner very late on. Made a video apologising to him. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. Should have scored earlier on in the game, but yeah, it was a great header from him. He could have been sent off for a dive early on in the match, but Arsenal should have had a couple of penalties, especially the Trossard one where he literally got grabbed around the neck. I can't understand how that's not a penalty. So, karma, especially given what happened between these two sides last year at the Emirates. Ivan Toney was terrible in this game. He tried to just start fights with Gabriel, and it's pretty much eradicated any chance of him getting a move to Arsenal in the summer, in my opinion now. Like, it looks like the fans don't like him at all, so they don't want him. Brentford have conceded 16 headers in the Premier League this season, which is more than any other team, and 13 losses in 17. That is unsustainable as hell. They are very lucky that Forest have got points deduction, that Everton have got points deduction. Otherwise, they would be in real danger. I still think there's a very strong possibility of them going down, especially given what happened in Game Week 29, which we'll get onto in the next video. But yeah, they're in danger, man. Aston Villa against Tottenham. I thought it was going to be a very eventful 3-3 draw. It was very eventful, but it was a 4-0 Tottenham win. First half was dreadful. I mean, Tottenham started it fairly well. They had most of the ball, but they didn't create any chances. Then Villa got onto it. They didn't create too many chances either, but they looked a bit more threatening. It seemed like they had a bit more urgency about them. But the atmosphere in that first half of Villa Park was fantastic. For two teams that are meant to be as attacking as they are, that scored as many goals as they have between them, to be playing this poorly and the crowd still singing for the whole 45 minutes. Incredible. It's testament to both sets of supporters that they were willing to back their team through that. But in the second half, Tottenham turned it on. Within 5 minutes, they were 2-0 up. My boy Maddison, who I stupidly took out of my FPL team for this week, got on the score sheet. Brilliant goal from him. Great cross from Saar. And then Brennan Johnson made it 2-0 after a bit of a mistake from Aston Villa. John McGinn, what an idiot, man. He's meant to be the leader. He's the captain. He's meant to lead from the front. He just goes crashing into a doggy for no reason. Really poor challenge. When I first saw it, I didn't think it was a red card just because it didn't look high or anything. When I saw the replay, he got nowhere near the ball. It wasn't high, but it was no intent to win the ball. He was clearly trying to hurt a doggy, and he deserved the red card, and it threw the game away because Villa had no chance of getting back into it. At the end of the game, Tottenham scored 2 more goals and made it very comfortable. If Villa now get 5th, and that is not enough for Champions League next season, they will look at this game and they will potentially look at John McGinn and say, what were you doing, you idiot? Because they're very close, but that goal difference swing could be huge coming in the season. Brighton against Nottingham Forest. I predicted a draw. It ended up being a 1-0 Brighton win. Brighton did dominate the first half, but their goal was so lucky because it was a free kick that was never a foul. Forest did get a bit better in the second half, and murder from Brighton should have been sent off because, like his name, he tried to commit murder on one of the Forest players. The only defence I can give him is that he was kind of pushed by Gibbs White before, which kind of could have put him off balance, but I still don't think that's acceptable. He should have been sent off. But he wasn't, and Brighton are now unbeaten in 12 home league games in a row, which is really, really good. They just need to convert some more of those draws that they're getting into wins, and they could easily be in 6th, man, easily. West Ham against Burnley, what a game this was. It ended 2-2. I thought it was going to be 3-1 to the Hammers. Fofana's goal was absolutely amazing. By the way, he got past a couple of players and he just banged it in from 25 yards out, straight in the top corner. No chance for Areola. And West Ham were absolutely horrible in the first half. It was a really poor performance. Could have had a pen though after Sanderberg clearly handled the ball. I don't remember exactly when that was, but it was really stupid. He could have even been sent off for it because it was quite blatant. I know it came off in his own body, but it's a penalty. You've got to give these things. Second half, West Ham were much, much better. Danny Ings came on and was incredible. He scored, he had a goal disallowed, he hit the woodwork. He could have had a hat-trick, and he maybe should feel a bit unlucky that he didn't have a hat-trick. And like their counterparts, Sheffield United, Burnley bottled a 2-0 lead. They're only above Sheffield United on goal difference. They needed to win this game. Very poor result for West Ham. At home to Burnley, you should not be dropping points. Now the big one, the potential title decider between Liverpool and Manchester City. I banged the scoreline. The game didn't really go how expected though. In the first half, Man City were the better team. Not majorly the better team, but they definitely had the better chances. They looked a bit more threatening. Looked a bit more composed. But in the second half, I mean, straight away, Nathan Ake gave the ball to Nunes with a short back pass, but Ederson had so much time to react. He knew, it was so clear he's not getting there first, so why don't he just retreat, make the angle harder for Nunes? Nope, he goes diving in on him, takes him out, gives Liverpool a penalty, and injures himself in the process as well. Liverpool equalised through McAllister, good penalty. And yes, Liverpool dominated the second half, man. They were all over Man City. Their press was relentless. They didn't let him breathe. You know, Endo did really well against Rodri. Diaz, I mean, we need to talk about Diaz because his dribbling was impeccable. The way he was getting past Walker and Rodri, like he had them on leashes. But he was so bad in front of goals. He had 3 opportunities that he should have scored, and he missed all of them. It was really poor, man. Really poor. Like literally, if Liverpool don't win the title, literally the bloke's 27 now. Like he's not. It's not good enough to be doing all these fancy tricks, but having no end product. Like Odebear doing it, Doku doing it. Cool. They're young. You know, they're gonna get better with their end product. Diaz ain't a spring chicken anymore. He should be in his prime now. You know, he should be burying these chances. De Bruyne getting subbed was really, really weird as well. Like I know he wasn't playing particularly well, but it's still Kevin De Bruyne. It's the best Premier League midfielder ever. It's probably the best midfielder the world has ever seen, and you're going to take him off in a title decider. Come on, you've got to keep him on, man. Penalty incident. Now, Doku did quite clearly catch McAllister. I do think it was a penalty, but I don't think it was a clear and obvious error, because he did slightly get the ball, and it looked like the follow-through looked worse because McAllister came onto Doku. Doku was trying to get his foot. I don't know. It's a weird one. If the ref had given it, I think they wouldn't have overturned it. But yeah, it was one of them ones. Doku did hit the post as well just before that, almost won the game for City against the run of play. Yeah, I think Liverpool will be very disappointed they didn't win, considering the amount of chances they had and the fact that they were the better team. Chelsea-Newcastle, I predicted a 3-1 Newcastle win. Chelsea won 3-2. Newcastle were really poor in this game. Jackson scored yet again. He's scored in 3 consecutive games for Chelsea in the Premier League now, which is actually quite impressive. Caicedo also played quite well in this game, I can't lie. He hasn't had many good games in a Chelsea shirt, but this was definitely one of them. Mudryk came off the bench and looked really good. He's got his goal, which was taken very well. Sterling should not be anywhere near the team if Mudryk is fit. Why does Poch keep persisting with Sterling when he's got Mudryk there? Mudryk plays well whenever he does play. Madueke plays well with the majority of time he plays. Chukwuemeka looks very good. Like, I know they've had injuries to Chukwuemeka to Nkunku, but Sterling should not be anywhere near the team. He's a dreadful football player, and they've got to ship him off. Palmer had another Palmer game, man. He's just so good. What a player he is. I can't believe Man City let him go, man. Like, literally, they should have said to Cole, listen, we're not selling you. We're going to play you this season. If you still want to go next year, cool, we'll let you go. 45 mil for him is an absolute steal, man, considering some of the other transfers that have gone around for players. Isak scored a really nice goal as well. He didn't really have any other opportunities, but the way he took his goal was perfect. And Gordon did get injured in this game. Luckily, it was not a bad injury. There were rumours flying around that it was going to be a 6 or 7 month injury. It was only about 3 days. He came back for the next game. Finally, Bournemouth against Luton. I predicted a 3-2 Bournemouth win. Ended up being a 4-3 win. But Luton Town bottled a 3-0 lead at half time. That is... You can't stay up doing that, man. You can't. What I will say from a Bournemouth point of view, by the way, Semenyo was absolutely amazing in this game. What a player that boy is. But yeah, the one positive for Bournemouth with these 2 games is the fact that they've shown a great bounce back ability. You know, they went 2-0 down against Sheffield United and came back. They went 3-0 down against Luton and came back. They have a lot of resilience in that squad, but they can't keep doing that. I mean, I guess they can because they're very much safe and they're not going to get into Europe. But yeah, what a very good comeback from them. That's what I thought of the game week. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I know it's very late, and again, I'm going to apologise. The Game Week 29 review will be out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that.